let's jump into the show. I think I've got you here. I see that maybe Ida is watching, so I see a message from Uniquely the Same. So something's going right. But let's look at the surprising fact. So basically, it's just a quiz. 9 questions in the quiz. See how many you can get right from it, and we'll see how we can get ready for Independence Day. Oh, there's Al Kunzel's. Thanks. So I am missing all the the typical stuff that Ida does with putting your messages up on the screen and that sort of thing. Look at that. It's actually not even working. So I'm not going to be able to put your notes up on the screen today. But we'll have to get by just looking at the comments. There's Sayla jumping in, huh? How do you know? Come on up. Say hello to everybody. Well, she's sort of out of the shot because it's a much tighter angle. So here you go. You want a cookie? You got to say hi to everybody right here. Oh, that quickly she's gonna get down. She knows she has to get down to get her cookie, and she'll be back for her next snack. All right, so let's start to move into the slides themselves. So the first question that I have for you: do you know this? That's the question. See what your answer is. What historical event? It's a very straightforward question. This is the first one. What historical event do Americans celebrate on the 4th of July? Do you know the answer to that one? Is it 1A, the official signing of the Declaration of Independence? Or is it 1B, George Washington's birthday? Or is it 1C, the first shots of the American Revolution? Or is it 1D, formal adoption of the Declaration of Independence? So official signing of the Declaration of Independence, George Washington's birthday, the first shots of the American Revolution, or the formal adoption of the Declaration of Independence. You know which it is? That's your task. That's what we're trying to get you to do. Sort of a fun day, this July 4th stuff. We're on July 2nd, a couple days before it's getting started. But I don't know. What are you doing to celebrate? I don't think we've even talked about what we're going to do in our household. I think a large number of people have some sort of cookout or picnic, right? That's what you're supposed to do. This will be a little bit of a weird year. I don't know what are going to happen with fireworks and that sort of thing. I'd be interested in your perspective. So some people are saying 1A, some people saying 1D. And I do apologize. I can't put your comments up today. So you'll just have to watch the comments to know what the answers that you all are giving there. So let me move forward and give you the answer this time. The answer is D, 1D. Yeah, on July 2nd, 1776. That's today, July 2nd. The Continental Congress voted to approve a motion which was a motion by Virginia to separate from Great Britain. It took 2 days for the document to be created, but at the top of the Declaration of Independence it says July 4th, 1776. So that's why you're used to seeing that. There's that big July 4th, 1776 at the top, and there were that was the day that 12 colonies approved it, formally adopted it by the 12 colonies. New York abstained from the vote, so everyone knows there's 13 colonies, but it was a vote of 12 with 1 abstention. So there's question 1. See how easy the game is. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 2. Do you know? That's a little bit of a trick question there. That one. Lots of people think that July 4th was the signing date, but actually, probably John Hancock was the only one who actually signed it on July 4th, and everyone signed it earlier than that. Okay, so question number 2. When were fireworks first used in an official 4th of July celebration? So that's a traditional way, right? We all like to do fireworks. Lots of cities have them. Pittsburgh has a big firework display. They do it off the rivers, and they actually close bridges. You can stand on the bridges that go across the river and watch them. It's real nice. Lots of cities have great ones. Of course, I was from Washington D.C. for a while, and they had spectacular ones with the National Symphony Orchestra playing. But here's the question: when were fireworks first used in official 4th of July celebration? Was it just a year later, 1777, or was it 1812, or was it 1876, the 100th anniversary, or was it as late as 1901? When did fireworks come into vogue? That's sort of a question to think about. Were fireworks around in 1776? When did fireworks show up? I know it's one of these answers, so for sure it can't be later than 1901. You know, I think it's more than 90% of the fireworks the fireworks displays that you see actually still come from China. It's still the Chinese that are doing it. So Al says 2C, 1876, 100th anniversary. I have Kristen saying I like to put on my own firework display. I got a basement full of fireworks. Actually, I haven't used them for a year, and you know, there's a point at which they don't work very well anymore. So I really should get them out this year. And if we don't have any locally in Monroeville, maybe I'll have my own fireworks this year. So what do you think? Al says 2C. Any other opinions on that one? When did the real question is, you know, when were fireworks around? Were they actually around way back when, or was it later than that? I'm only seeing Al weigh in on the answer. I'll give you another couple seconds to put in your guess. Excuse me. So let's see where we are. I'll give you the answer here. We got 1A. Yeah, dog. That's I saw a joke actually about dogs, Kathy. I'll come back to that. The answer is 1777. Actually, the next year, the year after July 4, 1776, Congress authorized the use of fireworks so that they were legal. They were allowed to be used to mark the anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. That celebration took place in Philadelphia, and they'd have bonfires, and they would ring the bell 13 times, one for each colony, and that was the traditional celebration. So the answer is A. The answer is A. Lots of dogs don't like them. Somewhere I saw a meme of 3 dogs with like a flag and an Uncle Sam doll or something like that, and they were all laying on the couch, and the meme was, you know, July 4th, the day of terror for dogs. Selah doesn't seem to be bothered by fireworks too much. So, yep, my Kristen is saying that my dad used to like to do fireworks, which is absolutely true. He used to, and they were hard in Pennsylvania. There were hardly any fireworks that were legal. He liked to do the snakes, you know, that the charcoal snakes that you light and they grow, and sparklers, and of course firecrackers. All right, let's move on to question number 3. We'll keep this show on the road, even without Ida. I don't know how we're going to survive without Ida today, but I'm doing my best. She's my banter partner, particularly when I have technical difficulties, like the YouTube stream being down. Excuse me, I got a little tickle in my throat. I'm going to get a drink. So here's question number 3. What meal is it said that John Adams had to celebrate the signing of the Declaration of Independence? It is said that John Adams had a particular meal as a meal of celebration. The question is, what was his meal? Was it a hot dog with relish? Or was it turtle soup? Or was it barbecued chicken on a grill? Or D, he did not eat. He had gas, seemingly from all the pressure of getting the Declaration of Independence signed. You know, there's an article, there's a book actually that I got about the stories behind. We have a timeshare in Williamsburg. We get down there occasionally. And I got a book there one year, and it told the story of every single one of the signers. And maybe you've heard this, but they all sacrificed a great deal for the signing of the document. Their property, their esteem. Some of them were put in jail. Some of them were arrested. Some of them were chased. There are lots of actually really bad stories about what happened to some of those signers. They did not sign that document without repercussions. And sometimes we forget that bravery is sort of the first stage. Courage is the first step to freedom. And with all the stuff that's going on in the world today, we need to be thinking a little bit about that. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the freedom to eat. With this question, what freedom did John Adams celebrate? Did he celebrate with a hot dog with turtle soup? Did he have the original barbecue chicken on a grill just like we have today? Or did he not eat at all? Kathy says B, turtle soup. Anybody else have an opinion on that? Oh, here comes Nathan with turtle soup. Thanks for reporting, Nathan. Nathan can't watch on his regular YouTube today, so thanks, Nathan, for being flexible today. Here, let me give you the answer. The answer is it a hot dog? Come on. Don't you think that's the kind of thing I'd have in the question? No, it's not. It was turtle soup. Turtle soup was a common meal in 1776. Maybe that should be our July 4th tradition. Have you ever had turtle soup? I actually did have turtle soup once. I had turtle soup when I was in New Orleans one time, and but it was much more common. So John Adams was said to slurp his soup after the Declaration of Independence, to just luxuriously sort of suck on that turtle soup the next evening. Well done, 3 beers. Here we go with 4. Let's keep yourselves on a roll here. See if we can keep your streak alive. Which of the following was not one of the original 13 American colonies? One of these 4 was not an American colony. So here's a history question. I haven't seen Joel out there. These are the questions that Joel usually is an expert on. But which one? Is it 4A, Vermont is not one of the American colonies, original colonies? Georgia, one of the original colonies? Massachusetts, or North Carolina? 3 of those were part of the 13 American colonies, but one of those is an imposter. One of those did not. One of those came later. Ida, missing out on turtle soup. It's a sad day. So that must mean you've had turtle soup. And I honestly don't remember what it tastes like. I think it tastes like chicken. That's usually what they say anyway. Everything tastes like chicken. So some 4Bs being guessed. 4B, which one of these? Georgia, that'd be the most southern, right? So the most southern one is not in the colony. Is that what you expect? I think you'll be shocked by this answer. Are you ready for it? Joel says 4A. Joel says 4A, and let me tell you, when Joel speaks, you got to go with that one, because he definitely is the historian in the bunch. And the answer is 4A, Vermont. Surprisingly, Vermont was not one of the 13. Georgia was, North Carolina was, and the others were Connecticut, Delaware, Maryland, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, and Virginia. And did I forget North Carolina? Massachusetts. So anyway, so that's a surprising turn. Vermont, never would have guessed that one. I missed that one myself. That's why I wanted to put it out there. That's right. So isn't that something that you think of the Northeast? You think of basically the colonies mostly being the Northeast, and I don't really know the story about Vermont. I bet Joel does, and I'll bet there is a story. Okay, next question. Question number 5. We're zipping right along. Zipping right along here. When did the 4th of July become a federal holiday? That's the question. When did it become a federal holiday? Was it that next year, 1777? Or was it 1870? Or was it 1876, 100 years later? Or it is still a state holiday and not a federal holiday? Is July 4th a federal holiday at all? That's the question. Do you know that? So when did it become a federal holiday, or is it a trick question and it is not a federal holiday? What do you think on that one? Number 5. 5A, 1777. 5B, 1870. 5C, 1876, or 5D. It's a state holiday. Holidays, IDA always does these, thing of the month, holiday, or thing to remember each month, and I don't know who makes those all up, but there are official federal and state holidays, and that's what we're talking about here. When did it become, or did it become, has it ever become a federal holiday? There's, as I'm talking to you here in 2020, there's some discussion about whether July 4th represents all people, or whether it's part of the problem that there's still prejudice around, and so July 4th is a little bit under attack, and other holidays are being offered. A couple of 5Cs being stuck out there. Are you guys like talking to your machines or Googling this stuff, or are you getting it from your heads? I guess I shouldn't accuse you of cheating, but that shows you a little bit into my heart. Is I'd probably have a second phone or a tablet open. I'd be looking stuff up just so I look good to all of you. It's much easier to just make the game up. So we have 2 5Cs and a 5B as a guess. No one thinks it's 1777 when they did. Remember, there was a congressional act. Remember when they did the fireworks and they legalized it? Not that one? Are you sure about it? Let me move forward with the answer. Here we go. The answer is B. The answer is B. 1870 Congress. So here's some interesting facts that I don't know, you might find these interesting. I found them interesting anyway. Congress declared July 4th as an unpaid federal holiday in 1870. So that's the official answer to the question. But it was unpaid. It was just a federal holiday, but federal employees didn't get paid that day. They just took the day off. In 1778, what happened was George Washington issued double rum rations to his troops. so 2 years after George Washington gave his troops extra rum on July 4th. It's not what you think of good old George, is it? Giving his guys an opportunity to celebrate with alcohol. 1781, Massachusetts. So this is the first one. 1781, only 5 years after the signing of the Declaration, Massachusetts was the first state to declare it a state holiday. So they're leaders in that. And in 1938, it was not that long ago, 1938, well, it's a little bit long ago, but 80 years ago, 82 years ago, Congress reaffirmed the holiday and made it a full paid holiday. So July 4th has been a full paid holiday since 1938, but it started in 1870 as Nathan knew. So here's getting to the important historical questions now. How many hot dogs with buns, they call those HWBs, how many hot dogs with buns did Joey Chestnut eat to win the 2019 Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest? How many? Have you watched that? food eating contests are some of my favorite things to watch. It's just crazy. But it's not just a hot dog eating contest. It's a HDB, a hot dog with bun. How many did he eat? Did he eat A, 29 hot dogs? Or did he eat B, 34 hot dogs? Or did he eat C, 39 hot dogs? Or did he eat D, 71 hot dogs? Here's my question for you. How many hot dogs? I think it's 12 minutes. You have 12 minutes. How many hot dogs could you eat in 12 minutes? Think about it seriously. How many could you put down? I think 10 would be an awful lot. But oh boy, people are jumping. People are jumping on the big number. Kristen and Kathy at 6D, right out in the front of things. They dip those hot dogs in a glass of water so that they go down easier. All right, one's 6C, uniquely the same, which is Ida in disguise. Ida's commenting, I think, under uniquely the same. She says 6C, 39 hot dogs, and but a number of people are saying D. You guys watch it every year. Well, it's just so you know that it happens every year on July 4th at noon. But I don't know about this. I heard this year they're going to have it, but they're going to have it indoors, and there's not going to be any audience. I think it is on, is my point. Let's see the answer. You guys came through quickly with your answers. The answer is D, 71 hot dogs. Joey Chestnut won in 2019. But 20, that was far from his record. Not far from his record, but he didn't set the record. He's basically tried to set the record every year, and he fell short of it. His world record was 74 that he set in 2018. It's interesting to know that the women's winner, Miki Sudo, she ate 31 hot dogs in 2019, and she's been the winner of the last 6 years straight. So pretty much Miki Sudo and Joey Chestnut, those are the folks to beat. They've been winning it regularly over the last few years. But if you're going to beat Joey, you got to do at least in the 70s. So loosen up your stomachs and go for it. Let's keep going. This is question number 7. This I wanted to put this one out in front of you because this is something that comes up from time to time. I hear this quoted every once in a while, and I wanted to see what you thought of it. Wearing American flag apparel violates a set of guidelines called the U.S. Flag Code. This is a true-false question. I've heard many people say this. My question is to you: is it true? Does wearing American flag apparel actually violate guidelines of the United States, U.S., which is called the U.S. Flag Code? Is there such a thing? That's my question for you. True or false? Have you ever heard that you're not allowed to wear a flag? I know there's definitely certain ways you're supposed to handle a flag. Not supposed to touch the ground. Not supposed to get it dirty. Not supposed to fly it once it's in tatters. Supposed to have it down at when the sun is down. Those sorts of things. Particular ways you paint it on the side of a bus. So there is such a thing as a U.S. flag code, but the question is wearing American apparel a violation of those things? I don't really have any flag. I don't have a flag shirt. Mary Lou says it matters if it's made with an actual flag. That's what she says. I'm not afraid to put trick questions in there, Mary Lou. So there's a 100% chance that it could be a trick question. The question is wearing American flag apparel. You can interpret that how you want. Let's see what the answer is, all right? The answer is true. Yeah. Wearing American flag apparel actually violates a set of guidelines, which is called the U.S. Flag Code. There's been lots of discussion about this. One of the guidelines is this: the flag should never be used as wearing apparel, bedding, or drapery. You're not allowed to use the flag as a drape. And so that's where Mary Lou's saying it's an actual flag. It can't be an actual flag. The code, however, is not enforceable. According to the United States Senate Committee on the Judiciary Committee of the U.S. Senate, there was discussion of this fact, and the flag code does not have any penalties in it for noncompliance, and it does not have any enforcement provisions. So there's no one to enforce it, and there's no penalties in it. So it is against the code, but it's you're not going to go to jail for it. Is the bottom line. Nobody's going to arrest you. Nobody was fooled by that one. I thought maybe I'd catch you off guard, thinking I was being tricky for one reason or another. Okay, here it is. Next last question. Question number 8. I keep knocking my headset out of my ear. It's not quite long enough. Which of the following 4 things is not a July 4th tradition? So 3 of these are actually July 4th traditions. 1 of them is not. So I would like you to pick out the one that's not. 8A, lobster races and gambling in Bar Harbor, Maine. Is there actual lobster races and betting on the lobsters in Bar Harbor, Maine? How about 8B? 2 fighter pilots from the Miramar Naval Fighter School each try to cause Tom Cruise to vomit. Two fighter pilots from the Naval School take Tom Cruise up in a plane and try to get him to vomit each year. How about 8C? There's a golf cart parade on Catalina Island, California. A golf cart parade. Literally golf carts parading. That's the question. Or 8D. Seward, Alaska's Mountain 5K, which is considered the toughest 5K on the planet, happens on July 4th. That's the question. Which one of these 4 is not a July 4th tradition? Surprisingly, 3 of those 4 are a tradition. But one of them is not. Can you find the one that is not the actual tradition? There you go. So people think that this is the Blevins household. Joel and Ida are saying that making now. Kristen, do you know if Maine has a lobster race? Surely you would have heard about it in Massachusetts, right? You go up to the. Does anybody talk about, hey, let's go up to the Maine lobster gambling? Or how about out in Catalina? That's a beautiful island. I don't know if you've ever been there. Take a boat ride over to Catalina when you're in California, in Southern California. And on July 4th, do you go watch the golf carts? All the decorated golf carts parade along? Or in Seward, Alaska, is there a Mountain 5K? Did I skip Tom? What about 2 fighter pilots from the Miramar Naval Fighter School? That's, by the way, the Miramar Fighter School is the school that Top Gun was based on. And so, which one is it? A, B, C, or D? Everybody's just sort of guessing, right? That one of those is not it. Let's go for it. Let's see what the answer is. Yeah, the answer is the Tom Cruise pilot vomit one. I made that one up. The lobster races are since 1978. There's been a YMCA fundraiser of lobster races. You can Google it, you can YouTube it, you can watch the lobsters race. Let me tell you, it's the least spectacular 6 minutes of your life you'll ever spend watching lobsters not race across the. They've got these complicated tracks, and where they put lobsters, and basically the lobsters just sit there, and people yell and scream and hope they'll move across. But every once in a while, one of them does. They all have names, just like any sort of racing. And Kristen says that she's been to Catalina, and she knows about Maine. I don't know if she's been to the lobster racing. There's a golf cart parade where people dress up their golf carts. They make them all red, white, and blue. You know how, like, sometimes in a parade, kids will take bicycles and they'll decorate them real nicely, and then they get to be in the parade because they got a red, white, and blue colored bicycle or decorated bicycle. That's what they do with all these golf carts. And there's a band and everything, and they have a big cookout on the beach. It's a big day in Catalina. Your wedding was not July 4th, so I don't know if you got to see that. Cow patty bingo. That's one of your favorite things, cow patty bingo. And the Seward Alaska 5K, the racers ascend 3,000 feet during the 5K. So most of it is like straight up. 3,000 feet is a reasonable portion of a 5K. What is that, like a tenth of a 5K? So a tenth of it you're going straight up. So you're going up these huge crevices and paths, and that happens on July 4th every year. So it gives you something to watch. Ascend 3,000 feet. Hey, how about the last question? Should we move into that one? I forget what I said that was ooh. Cow patty bingo probably is what you're referring to. Oh, there you go. So Kristen is explaining that there aren't cars on Catalina, so there are golf carts, and so that makes sense. I did see that they have a fire engine in their parade. So there are fire trucks and golf carts, and the golf carts are nicely decorated. Actually, the opening screen, if you looked at the screen that advertised this broadcast today, the very opening screen that says surprising July 4th facts, on it is a picture of one of the golf carts and the band from the Catalina one. So Ida, cow patty bingo. Here, I'm going to explain it because I just explained it to me like 40 times and I don't believe that it exists. You section off areas of a cow pasture and you label them A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then wherever the cows go, that becomes the bingo number. And that's why she's saying it's like a lobster race, because you're just sitting there waiting. I'm sure it's one of the most exciting days of your life. That's one of those things that sounds so much better than it actually plays out. So here we go. Question number 9. This is the big one. It's worth double points. Boy, you already read it and know the answer. According to the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council, if all the hot dogs eaten this 4th of July were laid end to end, how far would they reach? How far would they reach? I didn't put it in there, but it's 150 million of them. It's 150 million hot dogs will be eaten this July 4th. So if they're laid end to end, how far would the 150 hot dogs reach? Would it reach A, halfway across the United States? Is that what 150 million hot dogs are? Or would it be the length of Pennsylvania's southern border? Or would it be about the whole width of the United States? Or is it from Washington, D.C. to Los Angeles 5 times? Is it an enormous number? If you stacked up all the hot dogs, how many would it be? That's how many hot dogs are you going to eat? Less than 71, I assume. Let's see, if we take 150 million and divide it by I think 60% or 65% of Americans have a barbecue, a cookout. So so that means that there's something like 200 million people eating them, and so it sounds like everybody eats 2/3 of a hot dog, not 71. On average, you are going to eat 2/3 of a hot dog on July 4th, just a couple days. So is it 9A or is it 9C? Mary Lou's changing her answer. 9A or 9C? She's going with 9A. Let me bring it up. The answer is, drum roll please, it's 9D. It's from Washington, D.C. to Los Angeles 5 times. That's how many hot dogs. All the way out and back and out and back and out and back. 5 times. So that's a lot of hot dogs. That's why Nathan's can afford to have their contest every year, so that they can get some portion of those hot dogs. This year, Americans are expected to spend $6.52 billion on food items for the 4th of July picnic. That's an average meal of $73. You think of a picnic as an inexpensive event, but it's $73.35 for a barbecue. How about that? Which is actually down. The 6.52 billion is not the high number. It's down from the peak that happened in 2017. No, Kathy, you don't eat hot dogs, but my boys make up for it. When we go to Sheetz, it's one of our favorite places to go get hot dogs, because they are 2 for $1 at Sheetz. And they eat 4 of them. They always order 4 each. I only order 2, so we go in there, we get 10 hot dogs, costs us $5. That's the way to go. Al did the math. 15,000 miles sounds about right, doesn't it? Yep. I can always count on math. I can always count on Al to check my math. What was the one? There was one a month ago or 2 months ago where you got me. Had it all wrong. That's right. They aren't 50 cents each. They're 2 for $1. You can't get. They're 79 cents each. But for 20 cents, you might as well get the extra. Might as well get the extra hot dog. They eat 6 after a good workout. They ate 6. All right, that's the game for today. 9 questions. Glad you got to join us for that. That was sort of fun. Just trying to get you primed for your July 4th. Are you gonna do something for July 4th? Some sort of social distancing kind of July 4th barbecue or picnic? I think people are starting to get adjusted to everything, so I'd expect you're able to. That's sort of fun. I want to take a minute and do our saying of the week. Don't you think we should do that? Let's bring. I can't do the saying of the week. You wouldn't take the saying of the week from me. So let's try to bring Ida in for the saying of the week here. So here is. Let's see. Here is Ida from Springfield, Illinois, with the saying of the week. Ida, you want to do the saying of the week for us?
Wow, that was such a good game. I really enjoyed it. But welcome. It's nice to see you all. Even though I'm here in Illinois, I'm able to make it to the show tonight, and I have a saying of the week for you, like I always do. thinking about Independence Day and the value of Independence Day. We didn't become an independent country without working together. So that's what brought me to this saying of the week. Do your little bit of good where you are. It's those bits of good put together that overwhelm the world. So put those bits together, work together, and we can overwhelm the world with that good.
Well, thanks, Ida. Appreciate your taking time out of your busy vacation life or your home life. Hope everything's going well there in Springfield.
It's great. We'll see you soon.
Yeah. So there it is. Do your little bit of good where you are. Thanks for. It's those sort of tiny strokes that make all the difference in rowing. And so thanks, Ida, for reminding us. We need to move to the joke of the week. Actually, the joke of the week this week is brought to us. It says Matt Shaw. It says Ruth Shaw. I don't know what happened. My latest version. I know I had it updated, but it must have crashed on me. But we're gonna go with it, even though it says Ruth Shaw from last week. This is actually Matt Blevins, and I can't make a quick change to it. So this is the part where I would normally have Ida talk, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put it up with the error. So here comes Matt Blevins, not Ruth Shaw. Don't be confused. Matt says, "Why aren't there American knock-knock jokes? Why aren't there?" He knew that we were going to do a July 4th show today, so his joke of the week is, "Why aren't there American knock-knock jokes?" Do you know? Of course, Matt Blevins says, "Because freedom rings." Oh, yeah. Because freedom rings. Oh, Matt, you kill me. That's you slay me, man. No knock jokes. This is my favorite part of the show. I missed the part where Ida says it's not funny, but then Mary Lou or somebody from the audience says, "That was funny. Why are you saying that isn't funny?" So sorry, Matt, that I did mess up your name, though. I had it in a later version, but somehow I didn't get it into the program properly. Kathy says she doesn't get it. Freedom rings. Don't you know that? Don't you know that saying? Let freedom ring. So that's where it's coming from. Instead of knocking, you're gonna ring the doorbell. So guess what? It's that sad time when we start to say goodbye to the folks watching on YouTube. But I don't have to do that today. Well, I guess I do, because I'm going to put up the recording. But YouTube folks, thank you so much for stopping by. You will see that there are opportunities for you to right down here. There are places where other videos you can watch. But thanks for coming. We want you to know I'm uniquely the same. You're uniquely the same. Together we can change the world. Whether it's July 4th or not, we can change the world together.